Good morning, everyone. It's Jen from Tarot Spirit, or good afternoon or good evening, depending on when you're watching this. It's morning for me right now. Um, I just wanted to say thank you to my friend who said double temperance to me about 1,000 times this week, and I really needed it, and it truly helped. Getting stressed out does not make you more productive. It makes you less productive, and it doesn't help change the situation. It just makes it stressful. So I really appreciate that, and it really, really helped. So thank you very, very much. Um, and then I got to connect with my friend who actually introduced me to tarot cards went back in college like 25 years ago. So it was so nice to connect with her, and we had this great conversation about tarot cards and how we don't see them as fortune telling cards. We see them as a way to meditate and look at things from many different angles and get a good perspective on things and make sense of experiences we're having in sort of the big picture. And it brings a lot of peace of mind. And it was just like, even though I haven't seen her in a while and I don't see her very often, it was just like coming home, and it was so nice to see you too, sweetie. Thank you. So I actually already shuffled and the cards started coming out, so I'm going to start. And this week I'm going to do categories again. So the first is going to be home life, or, what we do when we're not at work. Then work, and then relationships, and a couple overall outcome general cards. So we have the Ten of Swords as an underlying theme. So, I've decided I really like this card in a way because it really means that we've laid to rest something that's been sort of mentally torturing us. If, swords are thoughts. So we're stopping this negative thought pattern, or these thoughts that were just not productive. So the 10 of Swords, it's an end. It's great. It's welcomed. We're done with that. I'm not stressing about that anymore. I'm not worrying about that anymore. I'm just not going to do it. We've just, we've gained the perspective or the experience or whatever that we needed to finally just be done with these negative thoughts. And then at the bottom of the Crystal Visions deck is the Queen of Pentacles. You can see I trimmed my deck. I think it looks beautiful. So she's extremely grounded. The focus could be on our home, our, outside of it can mean how we earn our money, but it's on the more practical things in life. Those are sort of driving us at the moment, deep down. Health, family, home, how we earn our money, sort of long-term plans, things like that. Okay, so home life. We have the Six of Cups, so maybe children are in focus, and the Eight of Pentacles. So two nice cards. So the Six of Cups is often read as a card of nostalgia. Sort of the only caution with this card is that sometimes we don't remember the past the way it actually was, and we remember things as being better than they were or worse than they were. So it's not always accurate. So you don't want to get too like, oh, it used to be so great, that job, that relationship, that person. It was so great. Then if you had to actually relive that again for real, you probably would remember it wasn't as great as it seemed. Um, or you could remember things as really horrible, and then you meet that person again and you realized that you were much more immature then, and when you look or deal with this person in the present with your current level of maturity and their current level of maturity, it could be a completely different experience. Um, so I feel like it's asking you to keep a bit of an open mind about things. Um, it could, on a literally mean dealing with children. Your children will be in focus. And it also can mean someone from the past may be coming back into your life. So, they could still very well be a great person or a horrible person, but it's asking you to keep an open mind and just feel things out, because especially if usually quite a bit of time has passed, people change, and circumstances may be different, and it may be a welcome experience. So to me, the Eight of Pentacles is saying that hobbies that you really, really love, things you work on outside of work, and it may very well be something that you used to do in your past, will be um, highlighted next week. So this card is about being very present to me. It's about doing something where you aren't worrying about other things. You aren't rushing to get through it because you have 5 other things. It's a space where you can be completely engrossed and present, and sort of all the other cares in the world, worries and all that stuff melt away, and you're just at total peace, working on this craft. So I think, with these two cards together, it's reminded. So it could be asking you to look back in your past and think about what things you did in the past, and maybe when you were a child, that brought a lot of joy, and try to figure out like an adult way to do those. If, running through the sprinkler, you could still run through the sprinkler. I'm not sure. It's not a very good analogy, but maybe you can find ways to bring those things from the past that brought you joy into the present. And it also talks about simplicity and smelling the roses and finding joy in simple things, and using those to be present and to create peace and add richness to your life. Not bringing in things that trying to fit in. Oh, I really need to run, and it's something really stressful. Try to find something that just really feeds your soul, I think is what I'm thinking about. So I think I did work next. The Wheel of Fortune. That's an interesting card to get in the work category. And the Two of Pentacles. So we're still going to be juggling a lot this coming week. There's still going to be ups and downs. And this really points to what I was just saying about my friend who said double temperance, and getting stressed out doesn't accomplish anything. There are going to be more ups and downs this coming week. So try not to get caught up. The person up here is feeling pretty smug and on top of the world, and it doesn't really depict it in this card, but often in other cards, there's a person being crushed under the wheel here. So some people are trying to climb up this side. Some people are on top, some people are falling. And if you get caught up in those ups and downs, yeah, you're going to be really happy and on top of the world, and other times you're going to be trampled under people's feet. So the message of this card is to live in the center of the wheel. And, oh, that's nice. It has the astrological signs around it. Live in the center of the wheel and just, stay centered and don't get caught up in those ups and downs and let what's going on around you shake you from your center. Super tough. Double temperance. That's what we got last week in the work. Double temperance. So the thing about that is, you're going to be juggling a lot. And it's going to feel like a lot of stress and pressure for you. But you're going to look like you're handling it just great for everyone else. So they're not going to necessarily appreciate what you're doing, but you need to let that go and just stay focused on staying centered and balance, and just do the best you can. And remember, using stress to try to barricade what's going on around you just invites the outer negative energy. It's just inviting it inside. So you have to sort of somehow protect yourself and just let the stress, if you sense that energy, you can feel it, but then let it flow back out and don't store it up inside you so you just get more and more stressed, because it just doesn't, it won't accomplish anything. Okay, love relationships here. Ooh, the 9 of Pentacles. Love this card. A lot of Pentacles. Oh, and the 3 of Swords. Interesting. So the 9 of Pentacles is a card about being comfortable where you are in life and enjoying what you do have without guilt or wanting more. It's just being happy with what you do have, the riches you do have in this world. It's a very positive card. It's a card of prosperity. So pentacles are health, home, can be spirituality, can be money. But this card is really about appreciating where you've come so far. Even if you're not where you maybe want to go, but appreciating how far you've come and where you are at the present moment. So really appreciating your relationship for what it is right now. But interesting, in this reading, we also have the 3 of Swords. And the 3 of Swords is that you can see in this card, they have a cup and the sword is piercing it. So it can point to heartache. It can be a card of jealousy. So I like the depiction in this deck, the Silver Witchcraft Tarot. I feel like, though, there's more of a healing aspect to this card. He's sort of, being showered by these beautiful flowers, sort of this beautiful light, enlightenment. So even though it can point to jealousy, which is kind of thoughts messing with emotions, jealousy doesn't really exist outside of human beings, I don't think, because it's our thought process, our, worry, and just turning things over in our mind when we have an emotional attachment to something that sort of creates this feeling of jealousy. Um, I feel like the theme of this reading is acceptance. You can get crazy and jealous about things, but it's not going to change anything. It's just going to make you stressed out and upset. And so he isn't even focused on the sword in the cup. He's appreciating that these flowers are raining light and beauty down on him. So where our thoughts go, our energy goes. So if we're just thinking about our heartache or what someone did to us and creating a big, just that's what our minds focus on, then that's all we're going to feel. But if we can put it in perspective and balance and remember there's a lot more going on in our lives than that one thing, it lessens its impact and we're able to deal with it better. So I wonder if this somehow is connected back to the Six of Cups. If someone from our past that had hurt us might be showing up. I mean, in that situation, you really have to just trust your gut, and it does depend on the situation. I'm sort of feeling like you need to just let some of this crap from the past go, because you may not be remembering things as clearly as they were, and you may have had as much to do with the situation as the other person. I think when relationships break up, and sometimes, people do really crappy things, but lots of times it's two good people that just aren't a match, and we don't have to sit there vilify. I think people vilify their exes because it sort of takes the pressure off of, it's just easier to blame someone else and sort of get yourself off the hook instead of saying, you know what, we were two people that gave it a shot and it didn't work, and we both had bad things that we did, and just sort of let it go. It's a process, but at some point you have to let it go, and especially if there are children involved, you gotta let it go. I'm gonna think about these for relationships. So I'm gonna move on to sort of the overall sort of outcome or overall theme, and a double Eight of Pentacles this week. Oh, and the Two of Cups. Interesting. So, okay, I'm getting a couple things. So this person that may be coming back into your life, they may not have even been a romantic interest in the past. So I think we need to have an open mind about this person in the present, and you may, someone you never considered in that way before, you may see in a different light. And you may meet him through some hobby, or her, whatever gender makes sense to you. Just translate that type of stuff for your situation. It can, whatever makes sense for you. I'm just, I just do it. I just read the cards, what makes sense to me, but that doesn't mean it can't apply to whatever your situation is. So please interpret that way, however it works for you. So I think, okay, I'm having a couple thoughts. You can't force things to happen. So finding these things in life that bring us a lot of peace of mind and make us feel very present and alive is something we need to spend a lot of, it's worth spending our time doing. And it's just very good for us. And I think when we are busy sort of doing things that bring us a lot of pleasure and joy, that inner peace and happiness just shines through. And so I'm sort of feeling like either just becoming really centered is going to make you more attractive and invite more of that into your life, and maybe this person, or you may be meeting a person from your past while you're doing this, because this doesn't have to be a solitary thing. I mean, if you used to love soccer, playing soccer, for example, when you were little, and you joined sort of a club, or something like that, or if you like to hike and you join a hiking group, there's a lot of, what's that thing, meetup, that where you can find like-minded people. Like there was one about like beer and hiking, and I was like, that sounds awesome. Maybe I should join that. So I really want people to take time for themselves this week and think about those things that brought pleasure into your life, and just kind of go for it. Spend time doing that. I mean, the outcome of these cards is, and if you can let go of these past, I feel like they're past, honestly, these hurts that you're still carrying around, you're going to really open yourself up to the Two of Cups. So for once, I feel like the focus is not on work, even though Eight of Pentacles can potentially be work cards. If your work is what you absolutely love to do, then yes. But if it's not, I don't feel like the focus is on work this week. I think some people may be meeting someone, or you may just come together with someone that you feel a strong bond with. It doesn't have to be romantic. And just, meeting some, whether it's friends or a romantic interest that just gets you is really great. And that goes back actually to this Ten of Swords. Letting go of that negative mental issues we've been having are going to come to an end. I feel like the focus is really on nurturing ourselves this week, and in some way just being centered and working on ourselves and sort of minding our own business is going to open up our lives in a way that will allow someone to come in. So if anyone, from your past, and again, they don't have to be a past romance or anything, and it may be someone you never considered in the past, but in the present, you look at things with completely different eyes. Even a year ago I would approach things differently than I do now, let alone 20 years ago or something like that. So I'm really loving the energy of this week. It feels very grounded to me, with which is nice. It's calming, and I'm a fire sign, so I'm feeling a lot of a very grounded energy and a lot of peace. And I think sort of that law of attraction, that we're feeling calmer, is going to open up for some really beautiful things to come in. So thank you so much for watching this week, and I'll see you soon. Take care.